Hello everyone, this is Mini Joda here. Welcome to another episode of Galerians. This is gonna be part 2. And don't worry about the door, just, go ahead and run past it. There's nothing in there. It's just an empty bathroom. Nothing there. But in any case, last time that we played this, which was quite a long time ago, and again, I apologize for that, it's gonna be kind of like a trend. I'm just having such a hard time to get the episodes kind of in a flow. Especially with Galerians, because as I mentioned last time, I'm trying to skip the loading screens because I feel like that takes a lot from the experience. So I feel that I want you guys to enjoy a more seamless playthrough, if I can do something about it at least. So I hope you guys enjoy it, but in any case, last time, if you remember, we are a guy named Rion, a little boy. And he was captured in this hospital, Michelangelo Hospital, and it seems that we woke up and we freed ourselves thanks to these amazing psychic powers that we suddenly have. Right now, we actually ran out of our telekinetic ability, so we're just injecting ourselves with one of them. It usually just shows you the animation the first time that you do it. After that, it will just kind of do a quick motion. Fortunately, it does pause the game while you're injecting yourself, so you don't have to worry about getting attacked while you're reloading your gun, technically, because that's what it is, basically. You're just reloading your psychic ability, so it works the same way as a gun. Oh my god. Ooh, okay. Sorry about that. I was just trying to take a look at the door in the meantime, see where I had to go. So basically, if you remember from last time, we got a few items, including the key that we need for this room, which is freezer room, I think that's what they call it? Yeah. So let's go ahead and go in. There's an important item that we need to use here, so let's go ahead and get it first. We could have gone the other way first, but I think it's important to... you can go either way, doesn't matter. Again, make sure you check everything that you see so that you don't miss any important, tidbits of the story. And also so that you can get all the items that you might need. I mean, after all, this is a survival horror game in the likes of Silent Hill and Resident Evil. It's not particularly scary because, a lot of the scare from those games comes from the fact that you are by yourself, of course, which you are in this game. And that you're being targeted by these scary creatures and lonely corridors. And to a degree the game is like this, but it's not really that scary. It's more like it's survival but not really survival horror. Oh, that was lagging a little bit, okay. Make sure you don't touch that cold arrow, otherwise you're gonna take damage. Make sure that you turn off the machine first before you exit out of the room. Okay, now let's check the other one which we didn't last time. Okay, again, you can go in any order that you want. These scientists don't really attack you unless you get really, really close to them, so you can attack them from a little bit of a distance. And they're really weak, as you can see, because they're not really soldiers, they're just scientists. So, I guess for the sake of realism, they just decided, oh, let's just shoot them with one telekinetic blast, and that should do it. It's kind of funny, though, how they cry. And make sure you check both panels because there's a couple of items. There was a Delmator on the panel that we just checked. Again, that lowers our AP bar if it gets too high. And on the other one, of course, we need that PPEC key, which we're gonna use in a room that we actually started very early in the game. I guess that would be the only aspect that would be a little bit scary, or not so much scary, but disturbing is the term that I would use. Because, a lot of the things that you explore, they just kind of they're disturbing, you don't know what's happening, and it's kind of very reminiscent of a mental hospital. Make sure you write down this number, you're gonna need it. It's very important. You're gonna have to use it on a panel very soon. Hopefully by the end of the episode we'll get to it. So you won't have to write it down and remember it for next time. And again, explore this chair and for a little cutscene. So you can clearly tell, I'm sure, that Michelangelo Hospital is not your typical hospital. They're obviously conducting some weird experiments in here. Of course, that includes what has happened to us. I mean, we don't know much about us, and I guess that's part of the mystery of the game. That we don't really know who we are, we don't know why we're here. So it's kind of like you're on this mission to find out your true identity and find out a little bit more about you. So if you remember, this is the room where we started. We were captured here, and before we had this little cabinet for PPCs which we weren't able to open before, but now we actually have the PPC, the wrong key, that we didn't have before, and that should allow us to grab a very important item which will allow us to actually exit out of the 14th floor, which is where we are. So what we're trying to do is get lower to the, to the main floor and escape the hospital, because we're very high up at the moment. So it's really, I guess you guys can't tell because I'm cutting the loading screens, but it's kind of hard to, get my thoughts together when there's a cut like that, because I have to plan ahead and just make sure that when I'm cutting the loading screen that it doesn't interrupt what I'm saying. So it's a bit of a challenge, but I like a challenge. It's okay. I mean, I'm pretty familiar with the game. It's very similar to when I was doing Parasite Eve. You guys can check that out if you haven't. That was the other Let's Play that I did of another survival horror game that's very close and dear to me. And with that, by making use of the liquid explosive, we should be able to head to the floor below. That'll be floor... Oh, actually, no, we were in 15th floor. Sorry. I am sorry. Got confused for some reason. So basically, we are in 14th floor now. We were in the 15th. So... something that I didn't say before. Basically, when you're fighting a guard, you're gonna see that a lot of them are sleeping or just kind of pacing themselves back and forth. So what you can do is, so long as you don't get too close to them, you can attack them from behind, or you can attack them while they're sleeping. So that way you can kind of get an edge though on them, so that they don't hit you or anything. But you do have to be quick, so just make sure that you're taking advantage of everything you can.
Rion, where are you going? Do you really think you can escape?
Who are you?
I'm Lem, clinic chief of this facility. You are the most promising subject so far. Return to the isolation ward. Your brain will short if you continue to overdo it. You refuse to listen, eh? You leave me no choice but to terminate you. Secure the entire isolation ward and lock all security card slots. You have nowhere to run now, do you? You've deeply disappointed me, Rion.
I guess as I was saying before, this game is very unconventional, sort of in the same way that Parasite Eve is. Make sure you click that button. That's the only way to exit out of the room where we are currently, because of what Lem just said, whatever, Hospital Chief Lem, or whatever his name is. The room on the left is a safe spot. We are going to check the bathroom first. There's really nothing here, but there is one article that you may want to read, only because it's relevant to the story. So this is family of 3 mysteriously vanishes. Whereabouts of Dorothy's creators unknown. So basically what this article talks about, I mean, you can go ahead and read it if you want, but I'll just kind of give you a quick overview. So basically what it talks about is about the disappearance of several scientists. So we're talking about Dr. Steiner and Dr. Pascali. So they said that Dr. Steiner disappeared with his wife, Elsa, and his son, Rion, which is who we are. So that gives us a little bit of an indication as to who we are. As well as Dr. Pascali and his daughter, Lilia, also disappeared. We don't know who that is yet. And the only thing that they have in common is that Dr. Steiner and Dr. Pascali were close friends, and they worked in the development and creation of the mother computer of Michelangelo City, which it goes by the name Dorothy, as you can see from the picture in the back. So that's basically what the newspaper talks about, like, you know, just the disappearance of a bunch of people, including yourself apparently. So now you know, like, you know, who your parents are, a little bit about where you came from, I guess. It's a normal scientist. Get out of my way. Get out of my way. Not too big of a problem, because if you see, they kind of act like scaredy cats, so they don't really attack you. Like, you know, they're not aggressive as the soldiers. I guess they did keep the realism in that regard, because, you know, certain enemies behave like scientists and others behave like they're soldiers. But it doesn't matter, like, you know, the approach is the same thing. It's just that these guys are kind of harmless. I mean, they do hit you, but they don't, like, you know, they don't hurt you all that much. So there's that advantage. Oh, the first red capsule that we have. If you've been using red up to this point, which I haven't yet, I'm saving it for a more important occasion, like, you know, when I really need firepower. In any case, we have another article here, which is kind of hard to make out if you're not too familiar with biology, because they talk about mitosis and geneticism and all of that stuff. Basically, if you want the gist of it, what's happening is that this document details the experiments that have taken place here in Michelangelo Hospital. And they're talking about how they were working in the development of Galerians. Again, we don't know what that is yet, but they're just kind of alluding to it, that, like, you know, the hospital's been working on a project which involving geneticism, which is the Galerians. And it seems that at the end of the project, over the course of 3 years, 5 Galerians were created. Again, you don't know what a Galerian is yet. We'll find out later. So that kind of gives us, I mean, the room where we are right now, that can give you a little bit of an indication as to what they were trying to do, because you see all those fetuses on each side. I mean, that can be good. So obviously you know that they were doing some experiments with genes and DNA. So they're obviously trying to create something living. We just don't know what at this point. Okay, ooh, that's disturbing. Okay, so you can see there's some weird crap going on here. For now, we're done. There's nothing else that we need here. This is pretty much the end of the hallway. We don't need to do anything else. Let's just go back. We have to go back to the 15th floor, actually. There's nothing else for us here. Oh god. You can kill them if you want, but there's no need. Ah! Okay. There are some, in like, you know, in that whole survival horror theme, some enemies do respawn, so some of them you can kill, but some of them you can skip, so you don't have to worry too much about it. For now, let's just head back. If you remember, this is the area where we started right at the beginning of the video. We're almost done. I think we can do one more room. Because I could save right now, but there's one more room that we have to check before we leave this floor forever. So I think I'll just get that out of the way before I move on. And again, there's just a couple of soldiers that respawn here and there. Not too big of a deal. If you just want to avoid it, that's fine too. You know, it's not that big of a deal. We're not gonna come back here anyway, so it should be fine. But in any case, as I was saying, I think this game should be about as long as my Parasitive playthrough. They're both unconventional and kind of short, in a sense. Oh, more scientists. Ah! Oh! I think I have one on my left side. Hold on. Oh yeah, there we go. Oh, he's not even looking though. No one. Not a problem. It's a bit morbid to just kind of go around and kill scientists. And I was gonna say that they were innocent, but not really, because I mean they did experiment on me, so they get what they. Oh. I ran out of space already. So depending on how you're doing, like, you know, if you have, because you do have a limited inventory space, so you may run out of space like I did, depending on how experienced you are with the game. I mean, I have played this a few times, so I'm pretty confident that I can do this properly. So the door in the room below we couldn't open because the key, as you saw from Lem, he changed all the security protocols. So what we're gonna use here is the number that we got from the room, the one with the kid and the floating toys and all of that. So I don't think the code changes at all, because I wrote this down during my practice playthrough and it's still the same thing. So I don't quote me on that, but I think it doesn't change. I'm pretty sure. So if you write it down once, or if you look it up online, I'm pretty sure it's available somewhere. I also just noticed that my AP bar is full, which means that the next enemy that I encounter is going to explode thanks to my amazing psychic powers. But for now I think we're good, so let me stop for now. We're gonna continue with the exploration next time, hopefully very, very soon. I promise I'll make my best effort to bring you guys episodes sooner and in a promptly manner, so thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and as always, enjoy.